Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Well, let me get a sip of my water first. Get my beautiful radio voice going, and let's talk about this. All right, on to the topic of the 1,000-pound club. I see this come up a lot with newer lifters, and a lot of people talk about it. They make a big deal about it, and I'm going to say it should be celebrated. Now, that's going to sound funny coming from someone who's been a big part of the hardcore strength world, because you'll see that kind of made fun of by serious power lifters. Oh, 1,000-pound club. But here's the thing. The average person in the gym has not been competing in powerlifting for 5 years. Okay, guys? We need some context for this. In fact, the average guy in the gym probably is going to never be over 200 pounds. If he cares about being fit, he's probably going to be under 200 pounds. It's 90 kilos body weight for my other people. And so that total would be something like maybe a 440 kilogram total. Something like that, right? Have I got the math right? 420, something like that. All right. And for those who don't know what I mean by the 1,000-pound club, what do we mean? Your squat, bench, and deadlift combined together has a 1,000-pound total. I think it should be celebrated, and I'm going to cover why. And again, I'm very aware I've had clients who are not even at super heavy body weights who can crack past that total without even deadlifting, just their squat and bench. Okay? We all know I've had some clients like that, but that is not the norm. That's again, ultra crazy elite. Crazy elite. Here's the thing I want people to think about with that. When you start talking about the average person's goals, how about my client? Because you guys remember I did those videos talking about Chris, and when a lot of people chimed in, I had some people, oh, you're promoting mediocrity. Others are like, no, he's right. That physique looks good. To the average person, that guy looks really good and really in shape. Okay? Chris was just over 1,000-pound total. He dieted down to about 165 pounds, maybe, I put in maybe 14% body fat. We did a little extra shoulder, a little extra arm work, which we did a lot of shoulder work. And he looked good, right? You guys saw the videos. I've linked a few of them. Okay? But to the average person who's going to the gym, who wants to get in shape, they want to look good at the beach, they want to look good in a suit, they want to look good in a t-shirt. They want to look appealing to the average person. That pretty much nailed it. But what were his performance numbers like? See where I'm going? Just over 1,000 pounds. He was benching about 250, squatting about 350, pulling just over 400. So if you take 250, 350, 400, we're at 1,000. He could pull a little over that. So, it edged him just past it. Then he dieted down to a healthy body fat, and what's the result? Got exactly the sort of physique millions of young men and even middle-aged men join a gym hoping to obtain. So when that topic comes up, and I look at it and say, the 1,000-pound club for someone who's at a reasonable body fat, right? If you didn't bulk up fat to get there, you're down at a healthy, athletic, decently lean body fat, and you can do 1,000-pound total correctly. I want your bench pause, your squat needs to be to depth. We're talking real lifts. Are you going to look pretty good? I'm going to go on a limb and say any adult male who can hit the 1,000-pound total and they're 15% or lower body fat. To the average person walking down the street, they're going to say, that guy's fit. That guy has a pretty nice physique. That is what they're going to say. Now, granted, they might need to do a little bit extra arm work. I'd say maybe you should be able to do at least 10 chin-ups or something in there. Obviously you would want to do a little bit of extra work for some of the show muscles, of course, right? Obviously, wouldn't hurt to do some biceps, little delts, little calves, right? It wouldn't hurt at all. they're going to look good to most people. And isn't that why most people go to the gym? And I want people to think about that. I know I've oftentimes run a very hardcore channel for very advanced lifters, but I've coached a lot of people starting from extremely low levels at this point. In fact, I've got a client right now who he couldn't even really lift at all. He couldn't even do a hip hinge with 20 pounds. We could barely do a body weight squat. A little bit older of a guy, run into some issues. Now, in just a few months' time, I've got him in enough shape. He's improved. And he's just like messaged me saying, hey. And it was a really, really nice message. He's like talking about, hey, I know I go on this trip with my, with my daughter and everything and my wife every year. And they go do this shopping. It's like a 6-mile walk. And I normally just stay home while they do the shopping because I can't handle it. It hurts. I can't walk on the concrete that long. I'm just in agony. It's like this time I did, and we walked 6 miles that day. And I feel perfectly fine. To me as a coach, is that as much of a success as when my guys gets to a 500-pound back squat or a 600-pound deadlift? I think that it is. I think that it is. Because even when he signed up, he's like, I don't know if you really want to take somebody from where I'm at. And I'm like, let's do it. I'll build you up. I can rebuild you. It's not a problem. Okay? And now he's starting to set strength goals. We've just been working with dumbbells. Now he's like, I think I need to get a barbell setter. I need to go join a gym. I want to start doing real deadlifts. Right? When you coaching and you see that, you have to step back and assess. Most of us, I don't care who you are, most of our audience, most of our clients are not going to be those elite powerlifters and bodybuilders. Okay? They're not, that is not their goals. The average person doesn't want that. So who are we putting information out for? Who are we trying to help? I, quite frankly, think that if your information is good enough to get average guy to the 1,000-pound total, I still hold those other strength standards. I think eventually people should reach those others. And I know people think they're crazy. I don't. But if you can get them there and help them build the show muscles a little, and your information can get them to 15% or lower body fat, you can do those things consistently with people who follow your advice. From a fitness perspective, how much more good have you done? How much more valuable is that information than getting the guys to the 500 bench? Because I love that. I've had guys like Tolman did that to me. He's like, oh my God, he got a conversation with me on Facebook, like in public, and he's like, no, dude, I use your programs from my early starting. I was benching like 540, right? And he's not fat, and it just kind of was like, wow, okay. But those are going to be so rare. That's not what most people need right now. It really isn't. We have a problem with obesity. We have this enormous health and obesity and sedentary crisis all across the Western world, not just the U.S. anymore. What does the most good? Who do we need to be helping? Our advice has to help those people. And if we're going to help people, we can't step back and say, your milestone doesn't mean anything. Because you know what? For someone who's starting out, if you've only been training for a year and you set a goal of a 1,000-pound total, that might seem pretty difficult. That's a pretty lofty goal. When you think about how many people drop out, the majority way before they reach that. That's something that should be commended. That is something that should be commended. Just like my client who normally can't go take that walk, who walked the 6 miles yesterday. Dude, that's phenomenal. Because what is that doing for his quality of life? What is that doing for someone who's gone eating nothing but junk, being sedentary, borderline crippled, went and took a 6-mile walk pain-free? We have to look at those sort of milestones and go, you know what? That's awesome. And I'm gonna do the same thing from now on. You know, I got someone who's starting out. They've been working out, and they say, I want to get to 1,000-pound total. I see it on here. We need to encourage that. And when someone reaches it, it needs to be a congratulations. None of this internet nonsense of, well, that isn't anything. I mean, I get that. I have elite lifts, and I get people who do that to me. Come on. There aren't many people 47 who can touch anywhere near the weights I do. So just stop. Who even I deal with that? But that is such a toxic part of lifting culture. Something we've got to do away with. We have to get back to building people up and uplifting them. And we've got to celebrate those intermediate milestones. We have to. Because they encourage people to do better. It gives them obtainable things to reach for. All right. That's all I have to say about that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say about that. I can't even get my closing right on this one, so I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.